Let me ask you this. What purpose does a Confederate statue serve? What purpose does a statue of Martin Luther King serve? Some of you might not like me stepping around that area too much, but that's okay, because I'm going to step in that area and tell you and give you an example here from Isaiah chapter 44, verse 9 through 17. They want to talk more about what I'm talking about. They make a graven image. Let's see here. They that make a graven image are all of them vanity, and their delectable things shall not profit. And they are their own witnesses. They see not nor know that they may be ashamed. Who hath formed a god or molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing? Behold, all his fellows shall be ashamed, and the workmen there are of men. Let them all be gathered together, let them stand up, yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together. The smith with his tongs both worketh in the coals, and fashioneth it with hammers, and worketh it with the strength of his arms. Yea, he is hungry, and his strength faileth. He drinketh no water, and is faint. The carpenter stretcheth out his rule. He marketh it out with a line. He fitteth it with planes, and he marketh it out with the compass, and maketh it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it may remain in the house. He heweth him down cedars, and taketh the cypress and the oak, which he strengtheneth for himself among the trees of the forest. He planteth an ash, and the rain doth nourish it. Then shall it be for a man to burn, for he will take thereof and warm himself. Yea, he kindleth it, and baketh bread. Yea, he maketh a god, and worshippeth it. He maketh it a graven image, and falleth down thereto. He burneth part thereof in the fire, which part thereof he eateth flesh. He roasteth roast, and is satisfied. Yea, he warmeth himself, and saith, Aha, I am warm. I have seen the fire. And the residue thereof he maketh a god, even his graven image. He falleth down unto it, and worshippeth it, and prayeth unto it, and saith, Deliver me, for thou art my God. And it's the same with us and our statues, our Confederate statues, our memorials, our statues of people who've done great things and things, our revolutionary statues, George Washington, Thomas Paine, you name it, Thomas Jefferson, you name it, Benjamin Franklin, you name it. All these statues of men, just to think, if they were alive today for one day, they would take something in their hand called a sledgehammer and tear them down, because they would probably feel that they were not the kind of men that other men should worship in that way, in that fashion or form, or should hold into reverence in that such a form as that. They would probably tear down their own statues, whether it be of marble, whether it be of brass or bronze or granite. They would probably tear them down. They would not feel worthy, I suppose, being wherever they might have been, to even have a statue to resemble them or put in their image. They would feel pretty frustrated, I suppose, if they were alive. So why would we worry about what man says and does? Because we are sin depraved with sin. We are weak, we are fallible, we are everything not good and pleasing in the eyes of God, unless we have the Son, Jesus Christ, in our hearts. So why should this matter to a Christian? Why should it even be considered? to a Christian, statues of the Confederacy, things like that. It shouldn't. I don't think it should. And I got some people on there, there was like 2 votes or something or other. I have to look, well, I can't do it on here. But there were more people so far on my voting that said, hey, no, we shouldn't take them down, than that one person that said, yes, they should be taken down. That's just, I guess they were Christians, I don't know. But it tells me that there's so much tradition, just like with Catholic churches. It's the same thing with them. They have statues all over the place. They think more of the statue, they praise the statue more than they do more than they do God himself, the Lord Jesus Christ, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. But that chapter, that verse, Isaiah 44, makes perfect sense. It sums it all up. People more worried about what they have in inanimate objects than they are of the person they can't see, the one they can't see, the Lord Jesus Christ. The things they can't see, they praise and glorify. They even use it to even make their own food in this verse. And it comes from the ground of all things. Just like me and you, we come from the ground. So what is the profit of a statue? What does it matter if black people want us to take them down? What does it matter if anybody takes down a statue? It shouldn't even mean anything. Whether it's George Washington, whether it's Thomas Paine, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Robert Lee, Thomas Stonewall Jackson, Jefferson Davis. These things don't matter. They don't matter they shouldn't matter to a Christian. I understand they matter to the world, but the world doesn't know Jesus Christ like you and I do, like we Christians do. So they shouldn't matter to us whether they take down. Yeah, my family came from a southern. I had a southern family. My three great grandfathers, third great grandfather on my dad's side, neighbor Harvard Holiday, was in the Civil War, but he did what he did for his family, and we benefited from what my ancestor did on both sides, my mom's family and my dad's family. But do I call myself a Southern or Confederate son? No, I call myself a son of the United States of America, because it's through my father. It's through his father. You know, this is not the Confederate States of America. This is the United States of America. I stand for one flag, even though I'm proud of what my great-great-great-grandfather did for his family. I'm glad about his, concerning his memory. I'm glad what he did. I'm glad he did that. But does that mean I'm going to put a Confederate cross, a Maltese cross on his grave one day? Nope. Nobody else put it there. Why should I put it there? It's meaningless. There's a tombstone there, a pretty big one, and it shows his station in life, and that's it. If I want to know any more about him, I read about him. Same thing with Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson. I read